Go.
Podcasts where 3 or 4 comedians or creative people each share creative ideas such as a movie idea, app idea, futurist tech idea. The idea can be funny or serious, well thought out or improvised, realistic or ridiculous, but we'll always have fun talking and joking about it. And then
Say your name.
My name is Nicholas Pizzuti, comedian.
I'm your host, Tom Walma. This is Creativity Wasted. Don't worry, we always fuck up the intro.
Dude, I'm horrible. I can't read words.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have one guest who's late, and then one guest who's calling in a couple minutes. But let's get going. Nick, what's your idea?
My idea is instead of anti-bullying, I think we should come with a take it on the chin, where we teach children to take it on the chin instead of being, I guess, wimpy and crying about things. It's something that I experienced growing up. I grew up in special ed, so I went through a lot of it.
Okay.
But I think it's important that because, you know, I have the ability to laugh about it now and joke about such matters. And it's not everything so offensive and so touchy-feely.
Okay. Ashley, are you here?
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to say anything. That was really weird.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. So we started Nick's idea, which is pro-bullying.
Not pro-bullying per se, but take it on the chin as opposed to like teaching children how to deal with bullying as opposed to, I guess, whining about it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you could have anti-bullying plus teaching them how to deal with bullying.
Right.
So it's like...
Right. It's not anti-bullying. Yeah.
But you could have... Your idea isn't, but you could combine the two together.
Right, right.
So
it's
bullying is bad, don't bully, but if
Here's
somebody
how to deal
does
with
bully you, here's how to deal with it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and I think like I said, people fall behind the skirt of it was offensive as opposed to maybe you can make light out of the subject.
So how would you implement this training? What would the training entail?
I guess it'd be learning how to take a joke. I guess like when things are said as a joke, because a lot of people find things offensive now. Like if you say "bitch," women find it offensive, and well, in context, it can be used differently. Obviously, people use slanders or this that for the just like sub words, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like they are not technically what they are. Like, oh, shut up, you're such a bitch. Like I don't mean you're a woman that is thought less of, but when I make that reference to you, you know what I mean? It's not a literal term.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I don't know. Like I said, I grew up in special ed, so I heard retard a lot. Right. The thing was that I realized growing up, like when certain people say retard, they're not saying it in that context. They're not belittling somebody that's handicapped. They're last night I went out and I got retarded, right?
Yeah.
So it's not meant to like hurt somebody who's handicapped's feeling, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess I agree in some cases. Like retard is you got retarded because you were drunk or whatever.
Right, right.
It's not
such a derogatory term.
Yeah.
See, and I think
and then there's like cunt, which is like in England, it's like a hello.
Right.
I'm assuming they haven't gone super PC.
I don't think much has changed over there. Yeah. But when cunt, when it's used in context, like I reserve the C word. Like that's like me losing at my last wit in traffic, shaking my fist at some cunt that cut me off, but it's funny that you say that like retard is less offensive, because if you really think about it, like if given the option, you had the option to be a female, African American, Middle Eastern, et cetera, and then the last one was to be handicapped, chances are the last one you'd choose is to be handicapped over the rest of them. So it like the R word, I guess, is not thought of as offensive.
Can you sit here? We've got a video this time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're
phenomenal.
trying out the video. Thanks for coming, Kyle.
Yes.
Uh, So we started with what's your name? Nick's idea.
What's
which
your
is,
name? It's a great way to introduce your guest.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. We know how to do.
Well,
things.
you can explain it.
The
a little.
anti-bullying is supposed to anti-bullying. It's a how to take it on the chin, and it teaches kids how to deal with being bullied as opposed to whining and crying about everything.
Could it be
every
like
time.
dodgeball? Are we gonna like throw wrenches at them? Like toughen up.
Just like
You
I
catch
said,
a wrench, you catch feelings.
to make light of it, to like have a sense of humor, because I think kids sooner.
So
or later,
let kids get bullied in a humorous way?
Well, what I'm
Is
saying
this what
is
you're
that
saying?
The kid that gets bullied, like I said, I grew up in special.
You
ed.
were the bully in high school,
No,
weren't you?
I was in special ed, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
dude. So like people made fun of me all the time, but it's like I said, now. Like,
Oh,
growing
people
up-
made fun of you. I thought you were the bully.
No, I'm not saying no. I was bullied, and then that's my point. Is that like I learned how to joke about things, and I didn't take things so literally and like find it offensive. Say when somebody, like I said, says retard.
Okay, so I have an idea. So you want to prepare kids for being bullied. So we're all gonna bully you,
Okay.
But
and you're gonna show us your bullying coping tactics.
Coping tactics. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I don't.
It's hard to force bullying.
I can bully you, but it's not gonna be nice.
Okay,
You know, like it won't. I guess that's the definition of
Yeah,
bullying.
do
like-
it, dude.
But I don't feel like we know each other well enough to do
Dude,
that.
Kyle, do it.
No, I'm not gonna
Totally
bully
cool
you.
with it, dude.
No.
Deck my books, bro.
No,
Do it.
this isn't what I do.
Okay,
I'm
so-
a nice guy.
Most
I don't-
comedians are passive. That's funny.
I am very passive. I have not been in a fight since 6th grade. I got in 2 fights in my whole life. They were both in 6th grade. I lost both. I was like, this is not for me. And I never did it again.
Okay, so I have an insult for you.
Okay.
So you're gonna show me. You're not gonna come over and punch me in the face.
No, dude. I don't. I've
Okay.
heard way worse.
How am I
Oh,
gonna?
we should do that. We have video. It'll be great with the new video.
Yeah.
What better way to test
Okay.
a video than with a live fight? You'll go viral.
What the?
Live fight.
Those
on,
are all solid
Totally not.
points that
Live-
I cannot argue.
Live
You
fight
just
on
want to see him get his ass
podcast.
kicked. It's just like
Host gets
shoot-
his ass kicked on
shoot for 50
podcast.
on it. You see that?
Okay. So you're kind of like a gorilla in that you're hairy and you don't really know how to read.
Right, but I make up for it somewhere else.
That's your comeback.
Right.
Okay.
That was your insult? You're a gorilla.
Hey, dude.
Well, I don't know Italian.
Yeah,
something
it's in Italian,
Italian.
yeah.
My
it's-
preschool students are a little better at insults than you are.
You're not like a greasy wop, whatever.
That's
ethnic
insulting.
insult.
See, that's what I mean. You just said "wop" to me, which to me.
So what's your
I
response?
don't even know what
See,
that means. What
without
does WAP
papers.
mean? Without
Without-
papers?
I don't know about
Without
Fetty is
papers.
offended.
I didn't even know what it meant. I
Yeah.
just knew it was sometimes used.
without papers, it's a reference. It's a slander towards Italian folk.
Ashley, do you have any insults to hurl at Nick
I'm all ears.
Any?
to see how he copes?
Not really. I honestly think that this whole topic's kind of insulting.
Really? Why? Why though?
Yeah, I mean, it's something. Bullying is something that I dealt with my entire life, to this day still deal with.
Holy shit.
And
Ashley's been here the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no one's introduced me or spoken to me. So yeah, yeah. this
I
has
didn't know
been,
you were here.
I
this has
introduced
been
you
an
before
interesting
Kyle
thing
came
to
in.
just kind of jump into.
I had no idea she was here.
Yeah.
Physically, you are not here. So that threw me off when I started hearing her talk to us in real time. At first, I thought that it was the sound girl playing.
So bully
like a
me
clip.
for poorly preparing for the show. And, well,
I just did. That's the extent of my
See,
bullying.
and you took it on the chin, and you made light of it. See how that happened? Yeah, Ashley, I'm not saying people should go around bullying each other. That's not the idea I'm promoting whatsoever. I'm just promoting the idea of learning how to deal with it. Right?
but- so like,
Why should you have to learn how to deal with it when it's something that we shouldn't do in society, period?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. It should be something that should be taught, that shouldn't be accepted.
Yeah, we
That when
shouldn't.
people see it, they should stop it.
Exactly. We shouldn't just have to deal with it. We shouldn't be taught to deal with it because if you're not supposed to just deal with it and like take it to the chin. That's not what's supposed to happen. People aren't supposed to act that way towards each other. That's how you create violence. That's how you create a shitty world. And look at the society we're living in right now.
Well,
people just being mean to
yeah,
each other.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just,
No.
it's awful. There,
Ignoring
it doesn't.
the problem of bullying.
Yeah, people bullying each other doesn't make anything better. Like, and so you shouldn't have to accept it. So I shoot down this idea and say you're wrong for it. I say it's a bad idea. and we trash can this idea.
I see both
Sorry.
sides of it because, I mean, you shouldn't have to, but society's never going to be perfect, and we should accept that to some extent.
Yeah, you.
Like self-defense. Like, you shouldn't have to learn how to defend yourself or carry around a rape whistle or mace or a gun. Well, a gun maybe. I don't think people should be carrying around guns.
Why
but
should
well,
bullying
you shouldn't have to,
be-
but you might have to. I mean,
I don't think this is a necessary.
I don't
thing.
know if I can compare both those things. I mean, self-defense, I think, is a skill that everyone should learn, just as much as learning to have self-confidence and standing up for oneself against a bully. But I don't think that we should be teaching.
That's kind
kids
of what
to do
Nick
That's
said.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying,
bullying.
though, that you should have the ability to defend yourself. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not promoting bullying by any means, by any stretch. It's like I said.
I mean, that's where I came into this conversation.
Okay.
You promoting
Here's the backstory.
people just accepting bullying.
Here's the backstory, actually. I grew up in special ed, so I got picked on a lot. I got off the short yellow bus. Believe me, a lot of fingers pointed, a lot of laughs being made at me.
So then why can't you just say that using the word retard is acceptable?
Because
Like,
in context,
I think
because
never-
in
I don't
context,
even want to use it right now.
in certain contexts, words aren't literally what they mean. Like if I say,
Sometimes the word retard is just funny.
yeah, right. See, this is what I'm saying.
In context, it can be.
Right. That, as can bitch,
I don't-
as can other words.
But I think it's in very little. I think the only times it can be in context is if you're with friends who you know are okay with you using it, or like who like understand your sense of humor when you're saying it, or maybe on stage as a comedian. Like,
I mean, that's so
I
much
think
harder
there's-
to teach. Like, this is okay sometimes.
yeah, it does make a hell of a gray area.
Well,
yeah.
But at least it prepares them a little bit. I guess like get a little ab workout for them, so when they get hit in the ribs, maybe they're a little less sensitive. Is that fair?
So you're just saying we should make fun of children?
Absolutely. Which is
Well, I sort of brought that up as a way to prepare them for bullying through immersion, sort of. I brought that up.
Right.
Nick might not agree with that as a tactic. It might just be you might
No,
not do that.
Yeah. No, I don't.
So are we? Is that the tactic that you're going for? Is to bully kids, to teach them how to deal with bullying, or to just teach kids about bullying and how to deal with it?
About how to deal with it, I guess, in to me, a more optimistic way.
Okay, so it's just like a class teaching them about it, essentially.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I'm for that. I don't want to bully children.
No, absolutely not. No.
I mean,
no,
I
that's
hate kids as much as the next guy, but like, I don't want to go around and bully them. They don't need that.
What's that, Ashley?
I mean, I said kids are terrible for sure, but I mean, if anything, I get what you're saying now. I came into this at a very weird time.
Oh, I just look like a jerk at that point, I'm assuming.
I pretty much was like, fuck this guy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But, I mean, bullying is something we're never going to get rid of.
Right.
It's never going to be a perfect world.
No.
And it is setting yourself up for dealing with the bullshit of the real world that, you know, people are mean and people suck. And so I get what you're saying, but I mean, I think the only thing that you can really teach your kid is how to stand up to a bully.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
defend oneself in that manner.
Yeah. Yes. And that's 100%. I mean,
So
kind of
we
on the
teach
same level.
children self-defense classes and start a children's fight club.
Yes.
That's the
I
idea.
would be so down
The
for
first
that.
rule of Children's Fight Club is no bullying.
But they're like, wait, how can we do this experiment then?
You take it all out on the mats. You solve it right here.
What's
No
that-
bullying outside
What's
of here.
the dummy that they punch? What's that guy's name? They call. He's got a name. It's like Pete or something. Like
I have
that.
no idea.
I don't know what you're talking about. I do think there's this thing that society sort of almost trains people to feel more victimized than they need to be.
Yeah.
Like some of this anti-bullying stuff can backfire, and like you see other people react and be traumatized to something, and then when it happens to you, you feel that like it's a race to become more accidentally to feel more victimized. Like, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, because you're this.
We're
Well,
in-
I'm that.
we're encouraging
Well,
oversensitivity.
Can we move
Accidentally.
on to the next idea? I feel like we spent a long time on this one idea.
Yeah,
I feel like
what's
we
it?
covered it. That we covered the fact that it seems like
Slightly
yeah,
logical.
I think we solved this idea.
Okay, Kyle, do you
How
want
do
to
we
go?
solve this idea?
I want you to go next because last time you were here, you got sort of cut off.
Oh, okay. I mean,
You
I
didn't
have
get to
like,
finish.
I'll be honest. I think I have like one idea. I might have like another
That's okay.
idea.
That's
It's just like Xbox Live, but without kids. Huh?
okay.
Huh?
So
Pretty good, right?
So
Sounds much better than Xbox Live.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Just bully them until they.
There's nothing that you could name that would not sound like a porn title. Xbox adults.
Triple X,
yeah. Right.
triple Xbox Live.
Adults live. Like,
Now,
X.
Every time you
hyphenated
log in, it
box.
asks, "Are you at least 18 years of age or older?"
is it because
they're still gonna lie.
No, yeah.
what's the reason why you don't?
I just
want
hate
them to-
kids on Xbox Live. They ruin things. They scream into microphones. They act like assholes for no reason.
Do you
They're
feel like
just annoying overall. You know, I don't want them there. I'd rather not deal with them. They kind of ruin my teams typically because they're not good.
What games
they're
are you
just
playing? What
all
games are
around
you playing?
worthless.
So we can get some idea.
I play Overwatch a lot. It happens a lot in Overwatch. In the past, I've played Call of Duty. I don't play it anymore because of kids. They pissed me off so much in Call of Duty that I will not play it anymore.
what's the age for kids? 18?
Yeah, it's
MA.
out of high school.
you know what? Let's make it drinking age, just for shits and giggles. No
'Cause- college freshman?
No, I want you to mature a little bit, live a little bit of life first. You know what I mean? Have a couple girlfriends before you're allowed to use this service.
All right.
There's a lot of people playing those video games that are not gonna have a couple girlfriends before they hit that age.
Do you
What?
partially feel though that the fact that the game has MA on it should indicate to the clientele that it's gloves off? It's like going to
Yeah,
a comedy club.
But
or-
then, like, think about it. Then because they always find a way to get the game, but then they get the game. They're not
Shame
gonna
on
get.
you,
They're not
then.
gonna get the service too.
No, but that's what I mean. Like as the kid having the game, like I think it should be a free for all now because it's mature adult. Like why do you have the game, kid? You shouldn't have the game. You're on here, well then pay the price and listen to me filth, floor, and filth.
No, but the problem is they're annoying to me. I'm not annoying to
Oh, you're not
them.
trying to protect them
No,
by any
like,
means?
No, I
No,
don't give a fuck about that. I'm not trying to protect them. I don't. They made their choice to be there, dude. I'm just trying to get rid of them. I don't.
Okay.
I don't like them.
so I didn't play video games from like high school, after high school, until sort of recently I started to pick it up. But I haven't done the massive multiplayer things. So I don't fully. I would have assumed that kids would have been better than adults because they've got just so much free time to play them.
I mean, that's also sometimes the problem is they're too good. They're either too good or they completely suck. Like kids aren't like, oh, I'm pretty good. Like they're like, I'm
Dominating.
completely garbage, or I play this all the fucking time, and this is
Who wants some?
Yeah. They use Twitch Live and stuff. I don't know, man. They get too into it. Like my little brothers watch YouTube videos and or like watch people playing video games live while they're playing video games, and it's like this is too fucking much for me. How are you doing this? like why? Like I could watch a TV show and play a video game at the same time, but like I don't want to watch somebody play video games while I'm trying to play video games.
Does that allow them to cheat? Like they can see where the other
No.
person is on the
No. I mean,
map?
maybe, depending if you're playing against that person, but I doubt it. That's like a rare instance. it's typically they're just watching some famous Twitch streamer, some guy who screams into his microphone and yells dumb shit in like a Cockney accent. And they laugh at it while this dude plays Call of Duty or some shit. This is their life as children.
Yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing. I know that because my nephews do that same thing, and it's absurd.
It's insane to me.
Yeah.
And I want to get rid of these kids. Get them off my fucking service, is what I'm saying.
It's so funny because I was such the villain in that first part, and now we're like, no, that's cool. Get rid of kids.
Yeah.
So you watch
let's get
the
rid of
movie
kids.
Children of Men where there's no kids, and you're thinking, God, I wish that was real.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, okay.
So you'd have been an excellent Mad Max.
Maybe. No, probably not. I'm not very like muscular or anything. Like I'm not very I'm not trained in any asset.
Way,
no,
shape,
no.
or form.
I got no fighting skills, no weapon skills, nothing
But
going for me.
sick on Xbox Live.
Yeah, pretty good. Not even sick, just pretty good. I mean, I do a lot of things, and I'm not good at most of them.
Are you aware of your stats on Xbox Live?
No, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So you're not that.
No.
Okay, you're not that bad.
No.
I know
I don't
people
really
that
check
are like,
stats.
I'm a wizard, and I've got 300, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. All right, Tom, you got something? Are we moving on? We still moving on this one? You looked bored with it. I'll be honest with you. So I was asking if you wanted to move on. You did look bored.
It seems like everybody was on board with your idea, though.
Well, so
Seems like a solid
one
plan.
last question. So is the problem for some of the games you can speak to people, like you can hear their voice
Yeah, that's
through a
a big
microphone?
problem.
Is that the ones that annoy you when kids are on it because you can hear a squeaky high-pitched voice?
poo-poo face.
Yeah, and
And then
they
they
just
squat
say,
over your head of your dead character or whatever.
"Oh yeah,
to-
they
to taunt
teabag you." Yeah, they teabag you. They're really.
I heard about that.
They're into that. Yeah.
That's a thing.
They
like,
do
all
that.
joking
Yeah, they
aside?
go and they'll kill you, and then when your dead body's on the ground, they'll get over you, and you can crouch inside of like shooter games. So they just crouch up and down on your corpse and like just teabag your corpse.
Because a lot of them, when you're dead, that just shows your dead character laying in the ground for like 20 seconds or something, right?
Yeah, until you
So then you can
respawn,
see them doing that.
Do you feel bullied?
Yeah, a little bit sometimes. I don't want to play with these children anymore. I'm feeling bullied.
You got teabagged by an 8-year-old.
I am. You know what? Nobody taught me how to deal with online bullying like this when I was younger. Maybe I needed your service. We should. Yes. You know what? I might be more on board with this service now. I'll be honest with you. They would have taught me how to deal with this online bullying from these fucking kids.
Do the kids shout racist slurs all the time?
Oh, all the time. All
the time.
Free
Really?
use of the N-word online. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you like report people or?
Yeah, but it doesn't do much. I mean, like, you can sometimes they'll get banned for a day or two from Xbox Live, and then they'll come back, and if they get reported so many times, their account will just get suspended. It all depends, but, like, it's hard to get somebody to that point. They got to get a few reports on them before anything really happens. So,
Wow, that's wild.
yeah.
I didn't even think
What's
about that.
So
your,
let's get rid of these kids.
when you're pissed off, what do you say? Just fuck? Or do
I
you
mean,
have
I just shout stuff. I don't ever go to racial slurs though. That's not me, man.
Well, I figured
just-
even if you did,
it's
you
lots of
wouldn't.
cursing and stuff. Not lots of it.
I will rape your mother.
There's lots of
you
like-
get
no.
like explicit like.
I mean, to them or like,
Yeah.
oh man, you just let them know how you could fuck their mom. Like
That makes
that's
them mad.
That's the main thing, man. That's the go-to. She made a face. She's like, oh Jesus. That's what you always got to tell them. You got to be like, I could fuck your mom. She's lonely. Like I guarantee it.
Your mom's a stripper.
I'm a young man. I got that young man dick. You know what I mean? I could get your mom. That's what I'm talking about. I have a girlfriend. I won't fuck their moms, but they don't need to know that. You know what I mean?
So not a lot of feminism in the first-person shooter.
No, man, you can't. No, you can't, man. You gotta let it go.
Learn how to deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Usually I don't reply to it. I'll just like put myself inside of like a party all on my own or whatever. Like It's like a chat party is what it is on Xbox Live, and like you can invite your friends to it if you don't play. I don't know. Do you play, Tom?
No. I bought a Vive headset, and so I play that a little bit, but I haven't. They don't really have many massive multiplayer. They maybe have a couple, but I haven't done that.
Okay. Well,
I don't feel like I'm good enough yet.
It's
I'm sort of old man who doesn't know how to play video games anymore.
Well, I'll just put myself inside of like a chat party usually. That way I don't hear anybody else who's inside of the game. And I can have silence, and then I'll just listen to music or a podcast or something. That's what I usually do.
Have you ever reported anybody yourself?
Yeah, many times.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes you'll get people who purposely, like, tank a game or whatever. Like, they'll, like, come on your team, and they'll purposely just fuck up the game for you.
Okay.
Like, and they'll make it so you guys lose. And, like, just shitty people. Like, people who have nothing better to do with their day.
Do you
know?
find yourself fairly tolerable for it, though? Because the way you act when you play video games, you go, I would do that.
No, because I wouldn't do that.
So it's total, okay, it's
no,
total
because I'm not.
douchebaggery then.
Yeah, I'm not an asshole online. I'm like a pretty nice guy online.
You
I'm
just
a
said
nice
you were
guy
mother
person.
effing everybody and telling them how they're gonna screw
That's what
their
I
mom.
used to
That's
say
not
to
a
them.
nice guy.
But
That's what I used to say to them when I used to reply to it, and now I've just gotten too tired of it, and like so I just put myself in a party by myself. But that's like when like I used to have like when I used to deal with kids or whatever online, they were awful. Like I don't know.
But let's move on.
Like
to,
I'm a nice guy online now.
I swear.
let's move on to Ashley's idea. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, all right, guys. This is a legit, real business idea that I've had since I was like 17 years old, and I have a joke about it, but this is like a real thing. I wish that there were multi-gender and I guess both gender strip clubs, so that couples would feel comfortable going to strip clubs together.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So they would
Also,
be.
this stuff kind of exists, but they're like sex clubs.
But that's the thing. There's not a great representation. Like, I'm just going off of Michigan. There's not really male strip clubs here. They have, like, male review nights. They have maybe one night every couple of months. But there's lots of strip clubs. And I just, like, I just want to see more dudes.
Yeah. I want to see
saying.
that dick. You know what I'm talking about? Let me see
I don't
that.
think women have to pay for that, though. I think that just happens naturally.
But
Hey, show me your
sometimes-
dick.
Sometimes you want to pay
See
for
the
it.
ones you want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see the ones I'm not getting to see.
Yeah.
All these gross dudes out there for free will show me, but I want to see the good ones.
And you think strip club promotes good cock? Like, strip club titties aren't that pretty, I'll be honest with you.
I mean, it just depends on where you're going. Like,
Right.
Are you going on a Tuesday morning?
Yeah, go there for brunch. What?
So
And they probably like a buffet.
No, I don't know. I don't really visit these establishments.
would there be like two-sided chairs, like where the husband and wife sit like facing back to back, so their heads are like touching and they're holding hands? So like
Dual
the
lap
woman's
bands?
looking one way, looking at the male stripper on one side of the room, and then the man's looking the other way at the woman stripper. So it's like two totally different experiences, but you're just there to make sure they don't
Guys,
Go too
guys,
far.
I nailed it. I nailed it. I got it. I know how you do this business. All right. So there's 3 rooms, all right? There's the male room, the female room, and then the male and female room.
That's exactly my
Okay.
plan. That was exactly how I wanted it.
Yeah.
All right.
You just want to mix. If you were like, oh, no, I'm too straight for that. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of choose.
It gives you the
What-
option at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no objection.
I think this is a great idea.
Wow.
Would it be like
Shark Tank.
So, Tom, are you going to invest in it? This is your podcast. This is how it works, right?
yeah, I'm Mark Cuban now.
Dropping these bills, man. I need to know. I already got a cast ready.
What would you call the strip club?
Oh, okay. So this is actually my joke. It's really stupid because the original idea was that there would be a bakery in the middle. My whole life, all I've ever wanted to do is be a dirty baker, like making dirty cakes. And so it was going to be called Long John. and donut hose. Yeah.
Okay.
Applause. It's amazing.
I'm going to be honest, the name could use a little work, but the idea is spot on.
Well, you're wrong. But
Oh. Okay. Donut hose. Long Johns.
Okay.
who
I
doesn't want to see a pair of tits while eating a donut? I don't know what else could make that better.
Chicken.
You just,
Okay. All
you
right.
one-upped
Kyle's right.
you.
All right.
Fried chicken.
The problem with donuts is you eat the donut really fast. The donut's
Yeah.
gone in like
And
30
then you have the
seconds.
chicken.
But chicken will take a good 10 minutes to eat.
Yeah. It takes a minute.
Yeah. It's kind of
Or
messy.
you can
It's
eat
kind
the
of
chicken,
messy, too.
or you can just wait to get the chicken and set the donut aside. If you can wait, eat that chicken first, save the donut for dessert.
Although if it was a glazed donut, the glaze could kind of look like glitter. So it could hide the glitter from the stripper that gets all over you
So you don't get in trouble.
so you don't get in trouble.
There you go.
So you're gonna rub a donut all over you to get
The
the.
whole point is
Well,
that
it's
you
just
should
gonna
get
get all
strip
over
clubs
you.
so don't get in trouble.
What'd you say,
You
Ashley?
shouldn't get in trouble. I said the whole point is that you should be at a strip club that you don't get in trouble for being at, because both, you know what I mean? Like the whole stigma of like, oh, my guy went to a strip club, I'm so mad at him. Like, fuck that. Ladies want to go to strip clubs too.
Yeah.
But, like, that's the whole point. Both, everybody can go. No one, there's no guilt. There's no,
Now, do you,
you're in trouble.
Ashley, now, if you and your man went out and you'd feel 100% comfortable in the couple's room, I'm assuming then, right? That's
Well, yeah, I go to strip clubs by myself. Like, if you're a lady and you don't go to strip clubs, you're wrong, because it's super fun. And why not support, if they want to do that, I'm not going to tell them not to. Sure, whatever. Here's $1.
Fuck yeah.
Go to college.
I've never been in a male strip club,
I've
so are they handsome? Are they good looking? How's that work?
I mean, have you ever seen Magic Mike? We're talking about, like,
No, why
prime
would I
level.
watch that?
Yeah, I'm not gay, bro.
Yeah, that's
No,
me, dude.
I'm not
That's-
gay, bro.
bro.
No, I know that was my impression of you. I wasn't doing me.
Now,
I've seen the first Magic Mike, dog.
strip club songs.
Kyle, the first one's horrible. The second one is actually good. So
I'm
you don't
picturing.
watch either of them with sound on. Like,
I mean, I did. But like,
He watched it for plot.
yeah, for what it was. Yeah.
Apparently, Ashley didn't watch it for plot.
I picture for a
oh,
male.
there's no plot in that first movie. It's so bad.
Oh God.
I don't know if there's a good male plus female stripper song. Like for men, I picture Genuine Pony.
Yeah, right.
Women can do Genuine's Pony too, just for the record.
Yeah, why not?
Hell yeah. All you
Well,
gotta do
yeah.
is know how to body roll.
That seems really hard to me. I don't know if I could body roll.
Well, then you're not built to be a stripper, my man. I hate to tell you.
So what are other good songs for both men and women strippers? Like Cherry Pie, Warrant, Wouldn't
yeah.
Work for Men.
I love rock and roll.
Well, the song, classic.
Yeah,
Classic
I think-
stripper song.
I think like basic stripper songs are basic stripper songs across the board.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
Shook Me All Night Long, like
Limp
that.
Put
Bizkit.
sugar on me.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, so I was just actually bullshitting that. No. I'm guessing like there's some stripper down south who does nookie almost every time, and you know it. I don't know where she is, but it happens. All right, so that was a good silence we just
Yeah,
had
right.
there.
I'm trying to think of any.
Are we moving
more
on, or
questions.
are we staying on
That's
this
the
one?
end of that one.
Yeah, I say we move on. What's next? You got one, Tom? You got one, Nick? What's up?
You already went, right, Nick?
Yep.
So I have a movie idea, or maybe a Black Mirror episode. But basically, the idea is
So we're just doing a spec script, is what we're gonna do here.
it's just an idea. I can't actually write a movie with like characters that you empathize with. I don't have that.
That sounds
skill.
like the words of a sociopath. I don't know what empathy feels like, so I can't write it.
I don't have feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been accused of being a little bit of that. Anyway, so it's the future, like 20, 30, 40 years from now. And one thing I love about tech is that the leaders in tech seem to really care about humanity and making beautiful products that help people's lives, as opposed to other industries. But they sort of ignore the unintended negative effects. And so basically one of these idealistic tech guys wants to create these sort of humanoid robots. And they're not just sex robots. I know that's where everybody's mind always goes.
No, just yours. That mine was not there with you. But I'll be honest, I was not there with you, Tom.
He calls them perfect companions. And so the idea is if your loved one dies or you get divorced and your heart's broken, you order a robot to replace the person who's left your life. And it's basically almost
original premise.
Yeah, it's not super
Wasn't that
original.
a Black Mirror's episode already?
I'm sure there's
like
been
it
tons
was,
of them
probably.
similar, but
It's like
Well,
literally.
there's one where there's like the husband dies and she gets a replacement, and it's like she had to grow him. kind
well,
of.
mine's
Like,
it's gonna veer in a slightly different direction, hopefully. But anyway, so
Is this robot like a robot or like a human?
it looks like a human.
Okay.
It's a robot, but it has free will, and this is where it sort of like
Here's where Act 2 comes in.
well, a lot of times they don't have sort of free will.
Didn't know I was
So
gonna
it's
laugh.
kind of like
Here's the arc.
people don't truly have free will, but you can sort of think it that way. Like you can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna be turned on by people without teeth now." Like you
And
can't
it's
just.
Oh, people without teeth.
So
is my
you-
shit.
You have free will, but it's sort of constrained by things in your subconscious or your biology. So it'd be kind of like that. So if you ordered a robot to replace your dead husband, you would program it to be in love with you, but other than that, it would still have its own will. Like it's just its will is constrained in this one or two small areas. Like if you're really mean to it, it might look and you beat it up or you whatever, or you ignore it, it might leave. Like it's not guaranteed to.
Does it
It's not
fight?
your slave.
Does it
Or
fight back?
kill you. Have you
Yeah.
not seen any robot movie
I know,
ever?
That's all I'm
You
thinking.
can't give a robot feelings.
Yeah,
it always
no,
ends
that's the
bad.
danger zone. That is the agreed.
That's how you die.
So
It sounds like you want to get a mail order bride really bad, Tom.
well, you can't program a mail order bride to love
That's
you.
his biggest
not
problem.
true.
No, you just pay him.
They're way closer to slave than I would be comfortable with. But anyway, so
What Tom forgot to say at the beginning of this is what he plans his future to be in 20 or 30 years. He was just writing about what he hopes his eventual future
What
is.
happens though when you have this robot wife who's taught to love you, and you're like, "Hey, I want to be with other women," or something to that effect?
then you
Oh,
break
Tom
its
would
heart,
never do
and
that
then
to
it has
her.
to leave and live its own life somewhere
it
else.
just goes on broken hearted.
But Tom won't break her heart. Don't worry.
You're
But,
safe with me.
But because the guy who's doing this is idealistic, he won't make slave robots.
Yeah, Tom
Like,
is super
He has things are gonna go wrong, but this guy doesn't see it coming. The new Steve Jobs who creates these.
He really fancies himself highly.
Yeah, it is loosely
He's a
based
pretty
on-
awesome
He's
guy.
the latest
I
Steve
don't know.
Jobs.
Like
Okay.
Steve Jobs-esque.
So he thinks this is gonna like end grief or reduce grief drastically. Like a loved one dies, you're sad. You know they're dead, but you're creating a replacement.
How does
that-
it work out for him?
So basically, he thinks it's gonna like make people happier, and it starts to like lead to mass suicide. Like society just starts to crumble, and basically, what happens is that he doesn't understand why at first, and basically what happens is him and his sister are kind of like me, the guy who creates this. We're both sort of antisocial. We don't.
So what I've been saying all along is this guy is Tom.
So we rarely.
So his
What
name's
a
Tom. We'll
coincidence.
just call him Tom.
So we rarely.
He fancies himself the next Steve Jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Amen. Amen.
didn't you clue that in by the topic of my podcast? So, we've never been married. We're probably never gonna have kids. We're both sort of.
Wait, are you talking about your sister again?
Yeah, we're both
Okay.
sort of loners, separately, of course.
I thought you were.
I don't know.
I thought you were talking about the robot. Still, you're like,
So-
you can't have kids
I
with a
wasn't
robot.
sure. Like,
So these robots are designed to, in the creator's mind, to help people who have lost people for legitimate means, like they died or they fell out of love with you or whatever. But so what happens is they're both a disappointment to their mother. So basically, my sister's really clingy with my mom. She visits like 3 times a week or more.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sounds like
So-
somebody's jealous.
so what happens is this mother all of a sudden decides that her grown children are disappointments, and she gets robots to be the 2 kids as children, like in the idealized vision of them that isn't a disappointment yet, and so she refuses to have any contact with them
Because she's got new kids.
because she's just gonna focus on the robots.
Are you gonna murder your mom? Is this
I
what
was
you're
gonna
telling
say,
us? right
I'm
now?
really concerned.
And
Are
so
you
the-
speaking
Sounds
about
like
this
you have
from
a
personal
really bad
experiences?
relationship with your mother, Tom.
So the clingy sister commits suicide, and so then
So you want? I'm not even.
I'm not.
Tom,
this
there's
isn't
a lot of things
All right,
it's a
keep
dark-
going. Just
it's
keep
a-
going.
it's
Just
a
keep
ni-
going.
it's-
You don't
it's
have
a-
to explain yourself, Tom. It's okay.
It's a nightmare movie. It's not.
It's
a,
all on tape.
It's
We
not
got
a,
it. No,
this is
it's
what
right
I
here.
want to happen.
Here's the confession.
It's Black Mirror. It's a dark side of technology.
Does the robot age?
I'm gonna say yes because I need that for a plot point, but yeah, I'm not sure how it'll happen.
Do you realize there's going to be a lot of creepy people making robots, like stalkers making robots of other people, right?
Hey, she said
Like, this is
no,
gonna
she
get
won't
weird
marry
really
me,
quick.
but now I can create her.
But the idea is the guy has morals. Like he's
No, people don't have
who
morals.
created it.
Where have you been?
He's
We have
like-
no morals.
Yeah, you're looking at the total like middle of the road guy. Think about the whack job.
Yeah.
I really don't have many morals. Nick's original idea was to beat up children. Our morals are clearly lacking here, Tom.
So anyway, the sister of the creator of this robot commits suicide, and so he decides, oh, this is bad. So he shuts down the entire program. He won't sell anymore, and what he does is he kills the child robots who are basically people. Like he murders them.
This is just like an
get
anime
back at the
episode
mom.
or something.
Yeah.
And so basically what happens is the mom is furious at him. So the mom kills him and then kills herself.
Pulp Fiction style, basically.
Yeah.
It's just.
But then it turns out that the guy didn't really kill the robot children, but he wanted his mom to think he did. So then in the end, you find out the guy who had this idealistic vision, he wasn't evil. Like he wouldn't even kill the robots.
Okay, can I be honest with you now? I don't like it at all. I wish you did. It hit a weird place where we realized this got too real.
It's
and I became uncomfortable with it. I'll be honest with you. Feels like you want your sister to commit suicide. You don't have a good relationship with your mom, and you fancy yourself as Steve Jobs.
The
We
last
learned a
part is
lot
right.
about you, Tom.
It's based on like what a particular. I do have like a sort of a dysfunctional family, but I don't want them to kill themselves.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that's a good
and I don't want to get murdered by my mother either.
I hear you say one thing, your story says another thing.
But it's like, how would my family happen in this weird nightmare futuristic world? What would happen?
All right.
All right. Are these
Anyway,
Are
but
these
I
robot
feel like
children?
you've been watching too much anime or something.
Are these robot?
I never watch anime.
Okay.
Are
Well,
these
it
robot
seems-
children
Don't start.
allowed to play
Yeah.
Xbox
I don't
Live?
need it.
Yes,
They're allowed to play Xbox Live. The children are.
and all of their
the
insults.
robot children, so they're not
Oh.
real children.
No, I don't want them on. There.
Not them either. They're not robot
Take
children.
that out of
Yeah,
their
so
program.
the movie could end with just everybody dead except for the robots. But then I thought, well, what if the robot grows up, the robot children, they grow up, and some other company starts the same. Like it's inevitable that some company's going to develop this system. So the robot falls in love with somebody, and then they leave him for another robot. So even the robots are hurt by this concept that you can
I have a
create
question.
copies of people.
All right, let's go to our reporter out at the robot factory. Ashley, what do you think of this idea?
I'm pretty sure this is a Black Mirror episode already.
Yeah, it's
but
not.
honestly, I started looking at Facebook, so I didn't hold my attention.
Burned.
The
I feel like bullying you right now.
I'll talk you through it, Ashley. You'll be fine. Just be witty back to him.
But yeah, I mean, it's a common premise in sci-fi, sort of the
I have a
humanoid
question.
robots. But I thought I took it
I
in
have
a
a question
slightly original
in
way.
regards to all these robot movies, covering them all. Why is the robot not able to remanufacture itself? Because they're so smart and they're so advanced, et cetera, et cetera. Well, why can't the robot just go, you know what, and make a whole bunch of me's, and we're going to take over? No?
That's my problem. They're robots.
I think
know.
there's too many movies where the robots take over.
Okay, no, real life. Russia, they've been working on their robots, their human-like robots.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, one of them escaped.
Really?
They made this thing that decided to escape. I mean, it's all downhill from there.
Is that like today's news?
No, that happened
Did you see it
earlier
on the
this
interweb?
year. Earlier this
Is this
year.
like a real thing?
This is a real thing.
Like,
This happened.
how
I've
can you
heard of,
confirm
like-
that kill?
Russia likes vodka and robots. Two things. All right?
So they got drunk and they made a robot and it got out.
Yeah, they created this robot, and this robot literally escaped. Like, they had to go hunt it down.
I've heard of ones like
That's
the
awesome.
the
To bring it back.
Facebook or Microsoft created that
Yes.
Twitter bot and it turned racist. I remember that.
Yeah, the racist robot. Oh,
But I
that
never-
was just a computer program. That
Yeah.
wasn't even a real robot.
I
This
never
one was a
heard of
real
one with
walking
a real
robot that ran over the hills.
But in my idea, sort of, the robots aren't bad, and it's almost the people are almost worse than the robots because the people are the ones doing all the murdering.
Well, yeah, that's the case now.
Well,
Yeah, until the robots start
do
doing it.
Yeah.
Like, what if you could like tweak humanity? You could make a robot that's almost identical to people, but
Minor.
you just make the smallest tweak that won't end up with Trump being president. Like the smallest tweak that won't end up with racism. Like there might be just the tiniest tweak to human nature that you could make that could make everything good in society and in the world. Maybe even like
You have,
a
no range.
Some
then.
people say like if everybody takes psychedelics, that'll be that tiny little change to human nature that'll make everything good. But maybe it could be in the form of a robot. Maybe
I think it's found in a way of or anything. A chocolate Xbox Live. Like, I don't know. a little piece of
Yeah,
enjoyment.
I don't know, man. I don't know the answer to that. That got really deep and philosophical for a second. And like,
well, I've got 10 minutes to kill. My idea went really fast because everybody hated it.
I'm just sorry. I didn't mean to
I wouldn't
shoot
say we hated it. We're terrified.
that. Do we
but-
have any other ideas here?
So do you
Nick?
think...
Did you only have your one idea?
Yeah, I just had that one. You got it.
Oh, okay, I don't have any more. No.
thought-
Ashley, do you have any more?
Honestly, I could probably bullshit something, but not anything I've really thought out.
Let's hear it, Ash.
Tom, do you have one on deck?
Do it.
I have a silly one on deck if,
Tom has
unless
a silly-
Ashley wants to
Tom's
go.
got one on deck. Tom, let's hear it.
Right.
Okay. Am I going or is Ashley going?
You are,
you are.
Tom. You have the
You can
idea.
go.
Okay, so in my old job, I didn't have my own office, but instead of having cubicles, they had 2 or 3 people in an office room, which was great because you had some privacy. And then I've worked off-site at places that had like full-size cubicles, like if you stood, you'd have to stand for people to see your head. But now where I work now, they have these really low cubicles, and I hate that because if you're under 5'10", when you're sitting down, your head doesn't pop up. But I'm 6'1". I'm just tall enough where when I'm sitting down, my head and my eyes rise above all of the other cubicles, so I have no privacy at all. And I cannot work if I'm seeing people moving around out of the corner of my eye. So I basically have to slouch. And my theory is that the low cubicle was designed by a little person who hated tall people and wanted to torture them.
I think it was by the evil boss that wanted to make sure everybody was still there.
Yeah, I think it's by the boss who wants to
But
be able to
nobody
look
else
over
is
the
ha-
cubicles when he's standing.
But he can't see the short people. He can only see the tall people.
if he's
sitting
standing
down.
up and looking over him,
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, if he's
But-
standing up and looking over him, I feel like he can see whoever.
Yeah.
Like that's why you get those, is so you can see over top of them while people are sitting.
So I came up with an idea to give myself privacy at work, which is it'd either be its own chair or a thing that you could put on a chair. And basically it would have like an umbrella type thing above your head, and then you could like put things down on the sides and the back of it to like surround your head, except for where the monitor is.
So it's like an umbrella with shelving units, sort of.
It's like an umbrella with like, I'm picturing like a hat that Sia would wear that like covers everything around.
So
Yeah.
like your computer screen.
But
for
you said
example.
they're like you could put stuff on it, right?
I think you just get like a tent for the top of your.
Yeah, it's like a
cubicle
tent
that you would just put over your cubicle, and you're.
but the
Yeah.
idea is they won't maybe let you bring in your own desk to put the tent on, but they might let you bring your own chair or put an add-on to a chair. And so if you need privacy, and again, you wouldn't necessarily have to completely wall yourself out. Like if somebody comes to talk to you, you don't have to be hidden inside of a tent.
I'm
But
sure
it
your
can like,
boss would love that.
but like if
Productivity
you're
would
sitting
go through
there,
the roof.
if you're sitting there and there's a guy facing you 8 inch or 24 inches away, looking right at you, but slightly off angle to his screen, and it's just bugging you that you're like making accidental eye contact with another person for 8 fucking hours. You could lower just that one section.
It's just funny for me to
Could you-
imagine Tom having to make accidental eye contact with somebody for 8 hours, because I can I can just see how annoyed you are already, and like just being the guy on the other end of that. Like,
just shooting eyebrows at you all day long.
And
Could you
breathing
maybe
on-
like build the wall up higher?
build the wall.
Like build it like you bring in your own like picket fencing and just like kind of put it up.
be like the Donald Trump of The Office?
Yeah.
Just have little doors that open. Like,
Yeah. I don't know if they would.
I'm
I
keeping
guess,
out all these eye contact immigrants coming over into my eye contact zone, making eye contact with me.
Y'all making eye contact over there.
Yeah.
Doing your
So
eye
I'm
contact.
building this wall.
Yeah, I suppose that would work too, but my idea is goofier, and I like my idea.
You buy like a whiteboard and just put it there, and then they ask you why. You're like, it's so I could work harder. Like it's just a tall whiteboard so you can't see anyone.
Get a whiteboard and in red marker write "make eye contact go away again."
How about
That's
this?
not
I have a
creepy.
question. Can't you work with the thing on, the VR on? No. Could you do your work with the VR?
I don't know. But that would probably kill your. I mean, I already have
That
like a
would-
little hunchback.
That would
Putting
destroy your
2 pounds
eyes.
on the front of your head.
But your eyes would just be exhausted by the end of the day.
Do you guys work in an office? Do you?
Yeah.
I
Do you have
did.
people shooting Nerf guns at each other?
No.
No. No.
Yeah, they do
I
that at
wish
my
they did
office.
that at
I
my
wish
I
they
could
did
make
that.
the argument. Oh, I'm protecting myself from the
the flying
the
objects.
flying objects.
Nerf war.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more productive and protect myself from the Nerf guns. But that we're out of time. Thanks for listening.
That was
Thanks
a good
for
wrap up
this
there.
creativity waste. thing. Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Ashley.
Thanks for having me be a part of it. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Ashley.
See ya.
Took it
Yeah,
off.
my,
She said thanks for letting me be a part of it, and you had yours off.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what she said.